Social media is a place where many people are going nowadays to grow their business, to promote their business, to share. And oops, and it's in a powerful way, but we have to wonder, how are we engaging people on social media? And this is actually a question that came to us recently during one of our Ascentive Mastermind community meetings. And so I asked a couple of our community members to join us here today to explore this idea on how to be engaging on social media. So, hot topic. Everybody's talking about social media lately. So, coming to y'all really quickly, give us your, initial thoughts on this idea of how to be engaging on social media.
I want to go first before Courtney, the social media guru, goes and takes all of my great ideas. So social media for me is one, just staying visible, staying in front of the audience. And we have a theme to our approach, and we'll have, Testimonial Tuesday or Funny Friday. We try to mix up the message so it's not the same boring message over and over again. But that's just to stay visible and top of mind with my current network. The best of my network, my referral partners, are that's the lifeblood behind my social media strategy when it comes to trying to generate referrals for my business, and that we are, on the prowl for each other. We're out there looking for those opportunities to refer each other, to tell a great testimonial about each other, and when one person gets recommended 2 or 3 times and I get recommended a dozen times, and we've strategized how we're going to make the connection.
Okay, so you're getting really quick. You're giving us a lot really quick. So I'm going to pause, slow us down a little bit.
I wanted to get mine out.
I know you want to get yours out. And I'm keeping up as the go-getter, but we're going really, really fast. So just recap for us your first one, and then we'll come back to your other one if you can.
Well, the first one is just be present and be consistent, and don't be boring.
All right. Super cool. I do want to say Darren said hi. So for those of y'all on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, feel free to leave your comments. We would love to have you and your questions. Jason's like, I was going so well, but you were going so quick. And I think we can slow it down a little bit, but we're going to come back to you on that. So I'll help you out. Sean and Courtney can't steal that idea, but we'll come back and let you share it without it being super quick. This is just our initial thoughts on being engaging on social media. So Sean, you're up next. Just initial thoughts.
Yeah, my initial thought is to have a good split and provide some good information. In other words, have a good split between what I'm trying to convey for the law firm or the podcast or whatever it is I'm trying to convey on social media, but also add in stuff about me personally. Pictures of the family, pictures of the law firm doing good in the community. In other words, don't make it all about buy from me, hire from me, sell, but keep it interesting and produce content that is also provides value.
Excellent. Love it. And I'll kind of echo Sean's idea. I love the idea of creating your brand. And this can be your business brand. This can be your personal brand. I know I use socks as part of my branding, and it's not necessarily business or personal. It's yes. And, Sean brings his FSU into the realm. Jason brings his, being a Bucks fan into the realm of both. And so I think we can definitely utilize social media to help build a brand and be engaging by sharing that brand. And our last person to share her initial thoughts on this idea of how to be engaging on social media is somebody that actually does social media for a living. So I know we're all trying to beat you out, Courtney, because you've got the words of wisdom, but just the initial ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no perfect way to engage and interact on social media. There are some wrong ways, but there's no perfect right way to do that. My best advice would be to be authentic, be genuine, be kind, and have the focus of helping other people, as well as asking questions to learn for yourself and to help others. Asking questions is a great way to boost engagement. And one last thing is, don't share anything that you wouldn't want the world to know.
Once it gets out there, it's out there forever.
It's out there forever. Yeah.
I know you may hit that delete button, but somebody could screenshot it in those 2 seconds that you put it out there before you delete it.
Yeah, I got a piece of advice once about social media. Don't post it unless you'd be okay with your grandmother seeing it.
Bingo.
Yes. I remember when my grandmother was alive. I mean, she would like everything I did. My mother-in-law is really, and it's funny, my mother-in-law follows like me and like my friends and my family and all. It's hysterical. Yeah, they're watching. My grandmother was like, why can't you get your brother and sister to post more? I want to hear about them too, which I just thought was funny. So yes, be careful what you put out there because people will read it. So let's share a couple engagement strategies. And so I'm going to kick this to Jason first. If you want to share, because I know you've got a really great strategy on really helping generate referrals, not only for yourself, for the other people in your network, really specific. So if you want to share that with us now, please and thank you. And you're on mute.
It really goes back to the strength of the relationships that you've created in the first place. And are you out there, being visible, becoming credible with people to where, people actually like you and trust you enough that they want to help you along. They want to take the time to actually refer you or tell a testimonial about you. Because if you haven't moved your relationship to that point, the strategy is worth nothing. I work with my best referral partners in that way. We've, consolidated our efforts to make sure we're all in the same types of group pages that will serve our companies well. And we're all on the prowl together for different projects that might be fitting for the people on our team. When we see those, we capture them and we share them through a messaging board, and so that we'll all know, and by the end of the day, we're going to go on there and make the 2 or 3 recommendations for 2 or 3 other people on the team. And it's not just the act of doing it, but how you do it is important too. And they don't just post a name; they post a name and a couple sentences on why, and to tag the website too. And then when I respond to it and I say, "Oh, thank you for this introduction," and yes, we'd be happy to give an estimate, and I tag the website again. Every time that website's in the message, my logo pops up again in that stream. And so if I get a dozen people to recommend me, there's 24 of my logo in that stream. I'm going to get a phone call from that person, but I'm also going to get 2 or 3 other phone calls from people who say, I see you recommended all the time. So the power behind what can be created through social media, but with the help and assistance of a power team of great referral partners, that's the key to success for me.
And apparently you got a fan on Facebook who says, Jason for president. All right, you got my vote.
I like people to like me. I don't want any job where half the people are not going to like me. That's not for me. Yes, I could do the job, but I don't want people to not like me. So I'm out.
Yeah, politics is probably one of those professions that, you're just encouraging the people not to like you. Oh, and that was Matt Wilkerson that shared Jason for president. And so as y'all are watching on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, do feel free. If you have questions, drop those in the chat. If you have comments, we'd love to hear those. If you're on Facebook, if you go to facebook.com, go to restream.io/Facebook. You can actually sync up your Facebook to Restream, and then we'll see who you are. If you're not, just be sure to put your name in the comments on Facebook so we can give you credit. So thank you, Jason. I love this idea of using the people in your network to really create that buzz. I know people oftentimes will put, hey, who should I use as, who's the best bankruptcy attorney in Tampa? And if there's 17 different names a single time, but if 17 different people say Sean Yesner is your guy, then it makes such a huge difference because we do, have a tendency to believe the masses. And we're not even going to go into what we believe on social media, but we do have a tendency, the more reliable it seems to be. Sean, it looked like you had a thought.
Isn't everything on social media true?
In somebody's mind.
Yeah.
So I have a slightly different strategy than Jason, partly because of the way attorneys can advertise for business. And so, and also Jason mentioned, you want half the people. He wants at least more than half the people to like him, or he doesn't want to take a job where half the people don't like him. And I at first thought that was a call out to Room Full of Referrals, but because of my personality profile, I actually don't like to recommend a lot because I'm always afraid that Jason is the only contractor that I would really recommend on Facebook. But if I had other contractors that were referring me business and I didn't refer them on Facebook, I would be afraid of what they would think when they say, well, why is Sean recommending Jason instead of me? In my business, I get a lot of referrals from realtors. And so I'm always sensitive to, I don't want to, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it maybe by a private message or a direct message rather than a blast out to everybody. But what I like to do is go find those industry related groups. So find the groups of people that are talking about debt. Find the groups of people that are talking about getting out of debt. And like Courtney said, asking questions within that group, answering questions within that group, not saying Sean Yesner, attorney, and here's my answer, but just answering the question and providing the value that way. And then they'll click on my profile. They'll click on my link. They'll check me out. Then they'll see I'm an attorney, and then they'll call me.
Gotcha. Excellent. Other strategies we have for being engaging on social media. I know I'm big, and we've mentioned this a little bit, but maybe not directly. I'm big on asking questions, and it doesn't always have to be business related. And I don't know about y'all watching. I don't know about y'all here. I find that, I put out this great, amazing business post, all this information is wonderful, and I get like a like, and it's usually Courtney or Jason, hey, yeah, I like you. I put out like something silly and 27,000 comments and likes and shares, and you're like, and so part of me is frustrated, like that I don't get as much engagement on the non-business posts. However, I think the way the Facebook fairies, at least the algorithms work, when they see some of the ones, even if it's not business related, they get some of that content. It still helps you be found. And I think it makes you seem as a person. People that are always business all the time, they don't see any of their personality. I think it's kind of a turnoff. And so I think we'd like to see who you are as a person within reason.
Within reason.
Yeah, Courtney, you want to talk to us about within reason?
Please.
All right, talk to us about within reason.
Yes, there are some things about yourself that you should keep to yourself. You don't need to blast it out to the world. Move in silence. What is the phrase? Hustle in silence. Unfortunately, there are people out there who, don't like everything about you, and that's okay. That's okay. We're not here to entertain everyone. There's going to be people who gravitate towards you, and there's going to be people who never will. And that is okay. It's okay. Don't get caught up in that. Next thing you know, you're in a comment thread with all caps and you're angry, and just simmer down. It's okay. It's okay.
I think if I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good comment, and I'm like, oh, wait.
Delete.
I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going there. I'm not even like, if we were in person, maybe it would be fun. Like, I'm totally the devil's advocate. I want to play. I will argue against what I believe just for the sake of discussion. Like, it's fun. Yeah. However, that doesn't translate to social media very well.
No, it doesn't. And you can't, and sometimes you can't relay feeling. Like it's having a text conversation. It's same thing with the comment back and forth. It's hard to relay exactly what you're trying to say and what you actually feel, because someone will take something from what you said and assume something about you and put you in a box. And then from then on, you are that person who believes that, even though that's not true at all. So just.
Well, at the same time, if you're going to be controversial, just know that it may impact your business.
Yeah.
I mean, it will.
Me and you, Tiffanie and Jason, we know a CPA that is very outspoken in his opinions on Facebook, and it costs him business, but he knows that and he's okay with that. And if that's how you want to run it, and you know that you're going to be potentially kicking away some clients, go for it.
Yep. Let your flag fly.
My friend reshared a post the other day that I thought was funny. It was just a poke and a prod, but it looked, if you skimmed it, it looked like it said, "I support vaccine mandates," and it really said, "I support vacation mandates." And but you should have seen the slingshots back and forth in the stream, and his response to each of them was, "I really think you need a vacation."
Now, if that was a travel agent, it would have been a brilliant post.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but people don't read or comprehend things anymore like they used to. So I've seen a drastic decline in cognitive ability when it comes to social media interaction.
Too many big words, Courtney.
Well, they don't
Too
read.
many big words.
They don't read. It's like they'll just see something and just glance at it and then automatically have a complete thought and a stance on it without even reading it, and then they'll and just attack mode. I'm like, simmer down.
I have a picture on my phone that every once in a while I'll post when I see people are in this heated political discussion, and it's a meme, and it says, I'm tired of talking politics. Here's a picture of a bacon sandwich, and it's literally 2 slices of bread and bacon.
And people argue about that.
People still argue about that.
They'll argue about anything. So we've been talking a little bit about how to be engaging on social media. Then we've kind of been talking a little bit about how not to be engaging. So I just figured, continuing on this thread, why don't we talk about what things not to do on social media? Just really quick, laser lightning. What are some of your thoughts? What not to do on social media?
Don't be that person with your head in the corner of the screen or slouched back, or don't be that person, that's just not in the window, that's not engaged.
All right.
Yep.
You all have your own brand, but stick by your brand. I'm PG, maybe PG-13 when it comes to what I put on social media. You'll very rarely, occasionally if the meme has a curse word in it, if I've got the time, I'll actually take the picture and go scratch out the curse word. It's not that I don't use curse words. I don't really care, but my brand isn't that. I also have a pretty unique sense of humor. I grew up Tiffany Beaver. So my last name, you either have really thick skin and a sixth sense of humor, or you cry a lot. So I went with the sixth sense of humor. However, some of it's not appropriate. And so, the Beaver jokes by themselves would be pretty much. Though I'm super excited. I'm writing a book right now called Damn Networking. It's going to be so much fun. But I want to stay within my brand. So cursing is not part of my brand. I don't do politics. I don't do religion. I don't get into any of it. So that's part of the things that I don't do, because it's not important enough to me for fighting with people on social media that I don't even know.
I don't post pictures of other people without getting their permission first.
My husband appreciates that.
Yes, those are very good.
My wife, and then I get in trouble for it. But
habit to get in. Yeah.
I don't get into fights on social media. It's just not worth my time, effort, or energy. And I think I saw something that said no one ever want to fight on Facebook. So I just don't get into. I'll type the comment like you said and then delete it. The only fights I'll get into over on social media is related to FSU, and I'll leave it there so Courtney and I don't get into it right now. But those are really the only fights I get into on social media is college football and basketball.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't really have. I have a ton of not to dos, but the one that seems to be getting violated is more of a PSA. Just understanding when you're commenting on a public post. So it's from a news organization or a business. Every single person in your network can see that. So if you are super angry about whatever, pick a topic in the world today, and you comment hateful things on this post, everyone in your network can see it. Your boss, your colleagues, your church members, all that. Just understand that they now know that you're a horrible person. So again, just be kind.
And Tiffany, I would say also is that, powering up your post, are you sending just a message, or are you amping that up with a picture, or better yet, can you add a video? Video is going to capture so much more attention than any of the others. And then in the message of that video attachment, are you tagging anybody else into the conversation? Are you, checking in at a destination, something that's going to get more recognition? Are you using hashtags? And, there's a wimpy way or a powerful way to, create a post, and how many views you get and the attention you get from it is going to depend on it. And I'd say you have to be doing it. You have to be doing something. So if you don't have the time to do it, are you paying somebody to do it? And I pay people to do it for me. And Courtney gets paid by people to do it for people. So if you're not doing it, get Courtney to do it for you. Get somebody to do it.
Yeah, the least thing you can do is use it as a customer service tool. That is the foundation, bottom, least amount of effort that has the most reward, is using social media as a customer service tool. So answering your messages, answering your comments, your questions, everything like that from your customers and community, that's going to go a long way. Even if you just do that, don't even post anything, you're just responding. That is a good way to start.
Awesome. All right. So I think that gives us, here's kind of what we want to be avoiding doing. So what I want to begin to do as we're wrapping up is give everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves, as well as share another idea if they have any. And so I figure I'll go first, since I know what's going on, and y'all can think about another tip if you have one that you want to share. My name is Tiffanie Kellogg. I love working with entrepreneurs to help them make more money, more time, and more fun. One of the things that I do is facilitate some Ascentive Mastermind community meetings. We have several a month that get together, and they ask questions. So everybody gets a chance to ask a question and get some answers. Some of our top Ascentive Mastermind community meeting questions then become videos like this, and we bring amazing people like Sean, Courtney, and Jason, who are all part of our Ascentive Mastermind communities together to share some of the answers a couple times a month. One thing that I was thinking about with the be engaging on social media, and Jason touched on this slightly, is tagging people in your post. Now, I'm not talking about, no, I ain't talking about let me tag 100 people to show the post, because to me that's annoying if it's not relevant. If it's relevant, if it's something that there's a reason you're tagging me. So I'll tag, Sean and Jason and Courtney because we were here today. If I talked about somebody else, I would probably tag them. If it's relevant, there's a reason to tag them, yes, because typically you'll tag them, they'll get to see the tag, then hopefully they'll come and interact. And so we want to watch that. The second thing I want to talk about for being engaging is when it comes to knowing the platform. So different platforms view things differently. And so if I'm on Facebook or if I'm on LinkedIn, they typically prefer native content. So if I shoot a video, for example, yesterday I shot a video on YouTube. I did a YouTube short, 60 seconds or less. Well, instead of taking that YouTube link and then sharing it on Facebook or sharing it on LinkedIn, I'm actually taking the video I've downloaded from YouTube and uploading it to those different platforms because they see it differently. Most of the platforms prefer not to have links to go somewhere else, not to have the videos from somewhere else. So anytime you can share it natively, that can also help your engagement. Who wants to introduce themselves and give us another tip if they have one? Next. Or just introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Jason Avery. I own Avery Construction. It's a remodeling business in the greater Tampa Bay area. I own Designer Cabinets LLC, which is a factory that builds custom cabinets, provides them to contractors like myself at wholesale pricing. And I'm also at Constructing Success. I'm a business coach for contractors specifically, teaching them how to stop robbing from Peter to pay Paul and how to actually profit at the end of the day while having happy customers that want to refer them. So my final kind of tip on social media was, if you want to get more exposure, and don't keep posting as the same person that posts 5 times a day, every day from the same account. Have a different brand. And I have 3 different brands that I can post through. I have additional groups that I'm part of that I can post into. And but maybe take your greater network and subdivide a little bit so the right people see the right messages and the other people don't get pounded over and over and over again with nonsense that doesn't apply. You'll lose their attention and become disengaged.
Gotcha. Thank you so very much, Jason.
I'll go next and leave the master for last. So I'm Sean Yesner. I'm an attorney here in Tampa. I help people who want to have more money at the end of the month rather than more month at the end of the money. In other words, I help people eliminate their debt, whether that's student loan debt, credit card debt, IRS debt, house debt, whatever kind of debt. I help people to get rid of that. I think my comment about social media is you don't have to be on every platform. So I don't have a Twitter account. I've never had a Twitter account. I don't know that I will ever have a Twitter account. I am very, very active on my personal Facebook page. I'm very, very active on the law firm's Facebook page. I'm very active on, and I'm sort of active on Instagram and YouTube. But you don't, it's too much. I mean, there's too much social media out there for me to be active everywhere or even hire somebody to be active everywhere. So I just focus on those one or two platforms that I know I have engagement, that I know I have an audience. And if people really want me on Twitter, they can find me on Facebook.
It's true. It's true.
All right, Courtney, tell us who you are.
Sure.
Other than the girl that takes care and makes me look amazing on social media, because she's my social media for Facebook and Instagram.
I try. I try to just make more people understand how awesome you are. That's
Aww.
it. It's all you, man. It's all you. So my name is Courtney Nestler. I own a little company called Bright Light Solutions. I help businesses establish and promote their story online to help build their business. And the projects that I like working on the most right now are our annual events for nonprofits. Most of my clients are on the West Coast, and I love planning and working alongside those teams for these annual big giant festivals and events and stuff. So y'all's tips were great. All of them were spot on. I'll add, don't let social media consume you, because it will, and it can, and it has. So just understand that. And a tip to help, especially with Facebook and Instagram, the more tools you use as a business, the more tools you will have available. And so Facebook, or Meta, releases information and tools and resources to businesses who are actively using the current tools. You will get access sooner to new tools to help you grow your business on social media. I know for a fact that's the case with Facebook and Instagram. And one more quick, small one. Don't be afraid to have fun. You know, anytime you can boost your comments on any post, it's going to help your overall reach. So don't forget to have a little fun.
I'm good with fun. How about the rest of y'all?
I like fun. And Meta, you brought up Meta. I wonder if everybody in our audience here today even knows what a metaverse is going to be.
What a meta mess it is.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So I want to thank everybody for joining us live or watching this after the fact on how to be engaging on social media. If you've got some tips, some tricks that we've missed, please, please, please do leave those in the comments below so others can see them. I want to say thank you so very much, Courtney, Sean, and Jason, for being here with us today. I'll be tagging them, or you can find them through everything that we have here on social media. And I look forward to seeing you hopefully again sometime soon for our next Ascentive Mastermind community question that we answer and brainstorm for you. Happy networking, y'all.
Awesome.
Bye.